All right. Hi, everybody. It's Todd Salerno here for the Career Interview Project, and I have with me a real live teacher.
Hello.
So this is Brian Burkle, and he's one of my friends who works with me at Disney, but is also a teacher full time.
Hooray.
So we have some questions for you.
All right. It's okay to video me too.
Oh,
that's important. Yeah.
Thankfully, we have you here.
Gotcha.
Is that all right to record you for this? Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Great. All right. So tell me a little bit about where you're at currently. Tell me about where you're at your job, and then maybe can you tell me how you got to that point?
Okay. So currently I teach third grade. The school's Bay Lake Elementary. It's in Orange County Schools here over in Windermere. It is my first year of teaching. So I have done a lot of, I graduated with elementary education and a minor in reading. Worked at an educational daycare for a while. Was always volunteering at church and different children's ministry. I obviously did my student teaching in first and fifth grade in college my senior year. So I got my classroom experience a lot through that. In different other classes, we would be in and out for observations.
Cool.
How I got to this position, I actually was subbing in the area before becoming full-time, and the school that I'm at was one that I was at about 3 or 4 days a week. So I got to know some of the staff and the principal there, as the year came to a close, I knew I wanted a full-time position next year, so I was able to talk to someone and go through the interview process and landed with the third grade job now.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
At Bay Lake.
Yes.
Where did you go to school, and what did you study to get to that position?
So I went to a school in Anderson, Indiana, a small little school, and I majored in elementary education.
Awesome.
And then
That's what I'm planning on doing too.
Okay.
So, cool.
Yeah, and then we had like a specialty or a minor was in reading, so I took a lot of the especially in teaching reading classes and really focusing on those skills and what it takes to teach that.
Awesome. Good deal. So you talked a little bit about your career path and your experience. What do you think is something that one skill perhaps that you need or a quality that you need to be a teacher in this field?
Two that pop into my head would be energy and organization. You're dealing with a class of 18 to 20 kids at elementary level that are going to bring energy no matter what. Even if you're not feeling it, they're going to usually show up with some amount of high energy. So to be able to match that, to hold their attention, to draw them into whatever you're teaching them is important. And then the organization element is just, if you're unorganized, your kids follow anything you do. So if they see you're a mess and unorganized and not prepared, they're going to follow suit, and that's just going to be a downhill battle for everyone. So keeping your plans, your books, your papers, assignments in organization form is really going to help with teaching.
I like that. Good deal. What do you like most about your job?
Ooh, I definitely like the aha moments. Whether it's with me understanding like how to best teach something, and I have a moment in my brain, or it may be out loud, and I'm like, yes, that's how they got that. I did that well, and I really liked that strategy that I used, or I'm going to write that down to use next year or in the following lesson. But the aha moments in the kids are just like when they're raising their hand and they've got that right answer, and you're like, yes, like you've understood, you've listened to everything I've said, you're using that vocabulary, using that talk we call accountable talk, like they're explaining their reasoning, they're giving evidence and not just saying it's this because, and you're like, this is a feel-good moment. So I just love seeing that.
To know that the gears are working.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you can see it on their face, you can see it in their work, and just in the active participation on a daily basis.
Neat. Mm-hmm. How about what's like the most challenging, or what do you love least about your
right.
job?
The challenges are just the extra time, I guess, and the extra amount of work you might take home.
Sure.
I would say I put in a lot of extra time after school, and then even after school I take stuff home, just because I want to be on top of things. Mm-hmm. I don't want things to pile up. I like to get it done and do what's best for them. So just the extra time is a lot challenging because it just it's eat, works, or eat, school, sleep, in some order, but it's all a challenge when there's so much of it outside of school as well as during school.
During the actual school day.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh dear, please still be going.
Okay.
It's still going. Great. Let's see. Do you work in a team environment or individually mostly?
Our school is actually really large at the moment, and we currently have 11 teachers on the 3rd grade team. So we come together during our planning hour every day, and we're broken into subjects. So there's about 3 teachers that will work on the math lessons for the next unit, and then there's another 3 that work on the reading. There's a team for science and social studies, and a team for writing. So as a team, we're split up, but then we all collaboratively come back together and we share out every other week of like, this is what's coming up, and everyone has a nice like online system that everything is shared and organized into different folders by subject. So that is a huge team element to the teaching. Everyone does their part and knows what's expected of them, and then we come together and explain it and ask questions.
Share the curriculum.
Share what were our learning goals or the standards that we're trying to meet for this lesson or this whole unit. We talk about assessments together and what needs to be changed or rearranged. That's definitely the team aspect. And then the individual aspect is taking all that and you're kind of on your own in the room, you know, right? Like you obviously follow a schedule and follow the time and plan and what you're doing each day, but like you make that work for your kids and your teaching strategy. So just something you kind of develop your own little
one-man show.
Yes, it's a production every day for sure.
Good deal. What advice do you have for people like me who are interested in going into education?
Advice, I would say just as much
run away.
No, never. Much experience as you can get. Like I feel it is my first year, but I feel so at home in the classroom because of all the experience I've had working with kids and so many different elements, whether it was a classroom or teaching a theater camp or teaching swim lessons or at church.
Disney.
At Disney. So just like immerse yourself in the element of teaching, the element of working with kids, and like when you get to your own classroom, it won't be too scary because you're like, oh wait, well I've done this in this aspect. Now I'm just kind of tweaking it to work in my own classroom and how I want it to work. So just as much experience as your school lets you have, and anything extra you can do, or watch a YouTube video, or like those great class examples and stuff, just to fill your brain with experience.
I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
One take wonder.
All
Nailed
right.
it. So thank you, Professor, and thank you so much.
No problem.
And we're finished.
Bye.